Recently, Rian Johnson revealed that he still wants his Star Wars trilogy to happen. The director spoke with Empire ahead of his upcoming sequel, Knives Out, Glass Onion, and said that he really does want to return to the galaxy far away soon. So, in today's video, let's take a look at what Johnson had to say about his trilogy and what else is going on in the Star Wars world. First up, Rian Johnson still wants to make his Star Wars trilogy. Not only does this year mark 5 years of Star Wars Episode VIII, The Last Jedi, but it also marks 5 years since Lucasfilm announced an all-new trilogy of Star Wars movies to be created by the film's writer and director Rian Johnson. Almost half a decade later, these films are yet to materialize. Much like Luke Skywalker hidden away on Ahch-To, they seem to have disappeared, but they're not totally gone. Speaking to Empire, Johnson has made it pretty clear that he hasn't forgotten about his set of original Star Wars movies and that he still has a burning desire to return to the galaxy far, far away, sometime down the line. The director told Empire about his long-awaited Star Wars series, that he has stayed close to Kathleen Kennedy and that the two get together often and talk about it. Right now, it's just a matter of schedule and when it can happen. He revealed that it would break his heart if he were finished and couldn't get back in that sandbox at some point. For now, he's hard at work cooking up 2 different Knives Out sequels for Netflix. The first, Glass Onion, is arriving this December. Meanwhile, the Star Wars slate is also looking pretty busy, with Andor just weeks away from debuting and the return of The Mandalorian coming early next year. Johnson's comments match with what Kathleen Kennedy said at Star Wars Celebration earlier this year, which was pretty much that everyone involved had a full plate for now, but the films were by no means dead and buried. Kennedy said a few months ago that nowadays, everyone's genuinely busy and working on things. This included his recent project, Knives Out, of course. So there's still a spark of hope, and if The Last Jedi has taught us anything, is that all it took was a spark to light the fire to burn the First Order down. So in the meantime, we're more than willing to wait for a fresh batch of Rian Johnson's Star Wars stories to ignite. However, since then, the mixed reception for The Last Jedi and then even worse for The Rise of Skywalker put the brakes on some of Lucasfilm's plans. As such, we've not had a movie of his actually go into production since. Both Kennedy and Johnson in previous interviews have said they still want this to happen. Yet, as the years go by, we get the feeling that it seems to become less and less likely. When it comes to the fanbase, The Last Jedi warriors have almost split down the middle. There are those out there who consider The Last Jedi to be the best Star Wars film since Empire Strikes Back, and then there are those who really don't care for it. What else did Johnson have to say? The director offered something fresh and original with his entry in the sequel trilogy, taking our beloved Star Wars characters in surprising directions, a move which struck a nerve with some fans. Before all the online hate, Johnson was pretty much determined to continue his work in the science fiction franchise, with a brand new trilogy on the cards for him to make his own. Sadly, the development of this trilogy has taken a backseat in recent years, but the dream isn't completely over yet. Speaking to Empire, Johnson stated that he still planned to make his Star Wars series. In fact, if it wasn't for him being so busy producing great detective movies, he might have traveled to a galaxy far, far away a lot sooner than we think. Currently, Johnson is busy preparing for the Knives Out 2 release date and could very well deliver more stories from that world thanks to his deal with streaming service Netflix. Hopefully one day, he can find the time to assemble a new Star Wars cast and fulfill his trilogy plans. The filmmaker's comments aligned with Kennedy's own statement from Star Wars Celebration. It said that Rian had such a huge success with Knives Out that he's very much committed to trying to get that done. So it'll be a while for the trilogy, and we might have to wait a couple more years before it happens. Johnson coming in with original storytelling, completely separate from the existing timeline, is exactly what the Star Wars franchise needs to move forward. We're hoping to see more of him in the future. Also, Daisy Ridley gatecrashes John Boyega interview to ask about MCU. Actor John Boyega hasn't really hidden his mixed feelings about his experience with Star Wars since the sequel trilogy ended back in 2019. It's understandable that he probably doesn't want to commit to another major franchise, at least for some time, as he recovers from what many fans consider the wasted potential of his character Finn. But there's one person who's demanding answers about whether or not Boyega will be joining the other mega franchise, aka the MCU, anytime soon. And that's none other than his good friend Daisy Ridley, who of course played Rey Skywalker. She was so impatient to get closure on the matter that she interrupted an interview that he had with the Happy Sad Confused podcast. Ridley had more of a request than a question. She asked her co-star to look the host Josh dead in the eye and convincingly tell him that he wasn't really a part of the Marvel Universe in any way. Boyega responded that he has had no talks, and currently he's not doing any Marvel movies, but he added that he's still gonna watch them and be there in the audience though. He joked about being in the cinema chair with popcorn and drinks. We feel him. The actor's currently busy preparing for the long-awaited sequel to 2011's Attack the Block. Speaking to Collider, Boyega said that the process has been fantastic and that the story was actually presented by him and Joe Cornish. They've collaborated heavily on making a story that makes sense for Moses and the other characters, and the new characters that will be coming up in the sequel too. Still, we can't wait to see whether Boyega or Ridley will ever turn up in the MCU. And now, for some other related news. Firstly, what will be confirmed amongst the D23 Star Wars news predictions? Lucasfilm is set to host a presentation at the D23 2022 Expo, meaning that some big Star Wars announcements could be on their way. A few upcoming projects have long been revealed, such as the Disney Plus shows The Acolyte and Ahsoka, but fans are now hoping for more content, cast reveals, and trailers, and D23 2022 might just satisfy all their needs. Over the last couple of years, Star Wars has been expanding its universe by producing and releasing interconnected shows on Disney Plus, though a few movie projects have been announced as well. Many of them are stuck in development limbo, such as Rian Johnson's Star Wars Trilogy, while others have suffered delays, such as Patty Jenkins' feature film Rogue Squadron. As such, the Disney Plus side of Star Wars seems to be the studio's main focus for now, and numerous announcements and reveals can be expected at D23 Expo 2022. Most notable among these is The Mandalorian Season 3. Next, the first official trailer for The Mandalorian Season 3. The Mandalorian Season 3 is definitely Star Wars' most anticipated current project, though The Mandalorian Season 2 ended with the separation of Grogu and Din Djarin. They were later reunited in the Book of Boba Fett. This was after Grogu made the decision to return to Din instead of staying with Luke Skywalker, as he relearned the ways of the Force. The first trailer for The Mandalorian Season 3 debuted at the Star Wars Celebration back in May, teasing Grogu and Din's journey to Mandalore, and that he might find a way to regain his honor after being shunned from the covert in the Book of Boba Fett during Episode 5. Since The Mandalorian's footage from the 2022 Star Wars Celebration event was only revealed to the attendees, it's possible that D23 could finally see the official release of the trailer for The Mandalorian Season 3, which is set for release in February 2023. And lastly, the next Star Wars movie could finally be confirmed. Although recently, Star Wars has been more focused on the Disney Plus side of things, there are still a few Star Wars movies in the works as well. At the moment, Patty Jenkins' Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron is still set for release next December in 2023, but the production had reportedly been delayed once before. It is currently unclear whether the movie will still premiere on that particular date or not. Taika Waititi is also currently working on a Star Wars movie, both as its director and writer. Lucasfilm could even announce that Waititi's film will take the 2023 release slot, pushing Rogue Squadron back even further. So far, they have been adamant that Rogue Squadron will be released on time. And that's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Rian Johnson still wanting to make his Star Wars trilogy? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.